What's up guys, Davenator 1, 2, and 2, and it's discussion day! Today's discussion, we are going to be talking about the advent of the 60 card deck. Now you might be saying to me, wow Davenator, no one plays 60 cards, that's garbage. And before the last two sets, I would have agreed with you. However, with cards like That Grass Looks Greener and Pot of Desires, we are starting to find that 60 cards isn't that many now, is it? The main card I'm going to focus on for the meat of this discussion is That Grass Looks Greener. However, Pot of Desires does kind of apply for a lot of what I'm about to say. Conventional wisdom in Yu-Gi-Oh! Would state that a 40 card deck is much more consistent than a 60 card deck. So when trying to make your deck more consistent, which is mostly the goal of any deck, playing as close to 40 cards, if not 40 cards, is the best. And if you have Upstart Goblin in your format, you can play them in your deck in order to lower your card count, technically, down to something like 39, 38, or 37, depending on what Upstart is at currently on the ban list. The less cards in your deck, the more likely you are to see the cards you want. Okay, so why might anybody ever want to play a 60 card deck? Well, That Grass Looks Greener. This normal spell came out as a secret rare in Rate, and it's actually a really weird card, and it's probably up there in one of the more strange mechanics that we have. It utilizes the number of cards left in your deck, something that is technically public knowledge, and at any point during the duel you could ask that question. Your opponent would have to count their deck out for you. But normally that's never really been a thing unless maybe you're thinking about playing against Light Sworns or something and you're trying to see how many turns before your opponent decks themselves out. But in general, the card count left in your deck has been pretty much a useless knowledge. Little factoid. That Grass Looks Greener has a really strange effect in which you mill the cards off the top of your deck until your deck contains the same number of cards as your opponent's. I think when this card was first made, the idea was that, oh, your opponent went +2, +3 on their turn, it's your turn, so you draw your card, you play this thing, and you mill off whatever advantage they managed to get to kind of try to catch up. It was a balancing card. However, I'm not sure Konami ever really considered people playing a 60 card deck. What does that do? Well, if you're playing a 60 card deck and your opponent is playing a traditional 40 card deck, you can mill 20 some odd cards depending on what advantage they manage to get. You're milling 20 cards out of your deck. That's absurd. That means when it's your turn, you have a 3-card hand, a 20 card graveyard, and a 35-ish card deck. Basically, you're starting the duel with a 20 card graveyard. So many decks would love to have that kind of setup turn 1, and now it's possible. Does that mean this card is unintentionally broke and it's going to ruin the format and forever we're going to be playing these weird 60 card decks and it's going to be totally stupid to play a 40 card deck? My theory for this whole thing is we're going to start seeing this sinusoidal behavior with That Grass Looks Greener. It brings to mind how Mirror Force works. Mirror Force is a great card, and when no one's expecting it, if no one's playing Mirror Force, you could win a YCS with it, because no one's going to expect it. You're going to be like, surprise, motherfucker, and you're going to blow up their shit. And in the earlier days of the game, up until pretty much Mirror Force got replaced by better versions of itself, that thing was an absolute blowout card. It swings advantage and it changes how the duel is going to run. And when everyone starts getting word that Mirror Force is good again, people start playing Twin Twister, or MST. So everyone's playing Mirror Force is good, Mirror Force is good. Now everyone's playing a countered Mirror Force like MST or Twin Twister, and all of a sudden people are starting to find that they can't resolve the Mirror Force. It keeps getting hit during the end phase, or destroyed right before battle. So people are going to start taking Mirror Force out of their deck because everyone's running a main deck Twin Twister. And then people playing the main deck Twin Twister are going to start finding no one's playing Mirror Force anymore, so I don't need to main so much back row hate. And then Mirror Force will sneak back up and start doing the whole thing over again. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to start seeing something like this with That Grass Looks Greener. Basically, anyone playing a 40 card deck at this point in the game is going to be giving anyone playing a 60 card deck with this card in it a massive advantage. Which means anyone who is going to try to even change their rogue decks, depending on what they're playing, in order to adapt to the meta, should start adding cards to their deck to mitigate this kind of advantage. Therefore, everyone's going to start playing 60 card decks, and there's going to be no 40 card decks. And then That Grass Looks Greener is going to start milling you 1 or milling you 2, maybe 5 max. And it's going to be kind of lame. And you're going to find that because you're playing so many cards in your deck and you couldn't mill that much, You just have a massive deck sitting on your mat that tall with all the sleeves, and you can't get to anything, and the duels last 20 turns, and it's boring. So you're going to start dumping this card out of your deck. You're going to just drop it, and then you're going to start playing 40 cards again. And then some asshole is going to go to a YCS with a 60 card Lightsworn deck and mill half his shit. And then we're going to see this, and then this, and then this again. So is the card totally broken? Will it forever dominate the format? No. Most likely, it will do this sinusoidal thing and just kind of come and go and promote weird decks and all this other fun crap. That is, of course, unless Konami decides to just nip the thing in the bud and just put it on the ban list or hit it to 1 or something to make it less viable. Because a 60 card deck with a 1-off of this card will never work. You're already running the risk of trying to draw 1 copy of 3 in a 60 card deck, which automatically means it's harder to open any 1 card in a deck that's that much larger. So you're already running the risk of not seeing the card and being stuck with a obnoxious 60 card deck. And if this was ever put on the ban list, then that just goes way up and you'll never draw it and it'll be totally a waste. Anyway guys, that was my thoughts on the card. It's really interesting, it's neat, and is it broken? I'm not really sure. However, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of the card and what you guys think of modern deck building. I personally find the fact that a 60 card deck now being viable is interesting, although it's probably viable for the wrong reasons. Anyway guys, those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what your guys' thoughts are. As always, it's a discussion video, so I really want to know what you guys think. And remember guys, if you don't troll the meta, who will? I'll see you guys next time.